have quite an interesting, challenging news from our first speaker, so I'm going to let him bring it to you. Dr. Ayal Shenhav is helping us with high-tech ambassadors ever since we started. He's the founder of Shenhav Law and today the head of high-tech practice at GKH. It's one of the leading law firms in Israel. But I always say that when we met, people told me, you're meeting a person with a heart for high-tech and for high-tech people.
So again, happy to be here. It's the first time I'm in the mixer myself. I'm Ayal Shenhav, as Yael mentioned. I had the high-tech practice of a large law firm, GKH. And I want to be very, very brief. And I'm going to skip a lot of slides about ourselves and who we are. Some people know us. But the big news yesterday, the European Union made the Cayman Islands a blacklisted jurisdiction. And that's it sounds, what do we care in Israel? The Cayman Islands is a blacklisted jurisdiction, but we do care because Cayman Islands is the hub of venture capital. Most of the venture capital funds in the world are located in Cayman Islands. And this is very big news, because now all these funds are going to leave Cayman Islands, or potentially leave Cayman Islands. They have to find a new place. And maybe some of you saw the market this morning, and we're trying to push an agenda to bring all the venture capital funds, not just to invest in Israel, but also to incorporate in Israel. And I think that can be very big news. So why do funds incorporate in Cayman? About 80–90% of the funds are in Cayman because it's well-known jurisdiction, it's acceptable. The US investors, Chinese investors, Israeli investors, Japanese, everybody knows Cayman. It's based on UK law, US law. It's relatively very stable. It sounds not stable, but it's a very stable country. It's not a tax-driven reason, but although some investors are using this Cayman vehicle to avoid tax, but generally, if you're Israeli investing in Cayman, you still have to pay tax in Israel, or Americans investing in Cayman have to pay US tax. And until now, until yesterday, there was no regulation. So you could list in Cayman, and there was really no regulation. So it's quite good, quite easy. And then on 18th of February, 2 days ago, the European Union decided to blacklist Cayman, which means that no financial institution from Europe will invest in Cayman, and very hard to transfer money to Cayman. And the Cayman wants to get off this blacklist, is the question? It's a good idea. So Cayman Island, trying to avoid this blacklisting, decided to start regulating venture capital funds. And now if I want to set up a venture capital fund in Cayman, I need to go and register with the Cayman Island Monetary Authority, like the SEC of Israel. I have to file annual reports with the Cayman auditor. I have to bring experts to evaluate my portfolio. I need a custodian. I need an administrator. So it became very complicated and expensive. And everybody is asking us, we represent, I think, 1/3, maybe 1/2 of the venture capital industry. What should we do now? And we hope that Israel is the opportunity for Israel to be a jurisdiction which is not blacklisted and is not expected to be blacklisted, hopefully, except for the Judea and Samaria you asked me maybe. And we have a good brand, and we have the high-tech industry here, and we have the venture capital industry here. So why not also form the funds here in Israel? And I think it could be a very good opportunity to convince the world that Israel is a good place. And we have many clients who actually form the fund in Israel. And it's not so bad. It's working.
Do you know of any plans to change the tax law for foreign investors
in Israel? Yeah, I'm very involved in that. There's a potential cloud on the horizon, but I don't want to get into this because it's very... the tax authorities in Israel want to make it a little more difficult to get the exemption from tax to foreign investors. But we'll see. Hopefully it will not happen. Depends who will be the finance minister. Right now, if you're a venture capital fund and you have an office in Israel and you want the investors to be exempt, you need to get a tax ruling from the government. And it's a process. It takes several weeks, but you can do it. And they want to make the rulings more difficult. That's the main point. So I think it's a big opportunity. But what needs to be done? Our partnership law is very old. It's from the British Mandate, so it's 70-something years old. So we need to update it. And we need to upgrade the operation of the Israeli Partnership Registrar. If anyone tried ever to register a partnership in Israel, so you need to file paper and physically, but not, you can do it online, so we need to make it more efficient. And I think to make this more efficient, you need cooperation between the public and private sector to build a better partnership law. But once we do it, I think it could be very good. And obviously, there will be a lot of revenues for the Israeli Partnership Registrar. For me also, it's good. It will be fees for service providers, but not lawyers. Lawyers, accountants, lawyers, accountants, banks, many players, CFOs. There'll be a lot of activity. And Israel can become world-class financial center, starting with venture capital, moving to hedge funds, moving to other classes. I think we can really be a financial center. And I think it could be a great idea. So this is what I wanted to share with you very briefly. And thank you again for Yael for inviting us. Thank you so much. Thank you.